And there we go. And we're live, I think, possibly. Can't tell because it's not showing on the screen yet, so you can see how much delay there is. Come on, YouTube, sort your life out. Oh, there it is. So how many seconds is that? That is like 20 seconds out. Well, at least I can see what's going on partly and have a look into the chat room. So this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is currently 7 minutes to 10 PM here in the UK, and it is Saturday the 17th of August. Keep on wanting to say it's the 21st of August. What happens on the 21st of August? Is that a special day? Does something happen on the 21st of August? Anybody in the comments? Let me know. 21st of August. Actually, I'm going to Google it. That's what Google is for. 21st of August. And also gives me a good chance to use my GameMax Strike keyboard, which has finally come out of its box, which is here. Now today has been a mad day. I've been trying all day to get this video up and done of me doing the update to the InWin A1 chassis, which I reviewed ages ago, which hopefully Kath will put a link to up here somewhere later on after we finish this video or whatever. But basically this thing has been in a box for a long time. I bought the motherboard, which was the B450 Gaming ITX AC, which is that one there, which is actually is a brilliant board. And I've come to the realization today, of all days, now the theory was originally I was going to have the Ryzen 5 2600, this one, which I bought about a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. And I got a good deal on Amazon, so I picked that up for, I think, that's about £100 I think it was in a sale, so really pleased with that. It's a great processor. But I was going to put it in the streaming PC, which is behind me. That's only got a Ryzen 7 1700, showing its signs of age. So I thought maybe I'll put it in there, take the 1700 out, give that to Kath, take the Ryzen 5 1400 out of her machine and stick it into this little thing. But then I was messing around with this last night and I was thinking, actually, what am I doing? Probably the best motherboard I've got here at the moment, feature-wise and kind of future-proof-wise, is actually the ASRock Fatality, which is in here. So it seems stupid to put a really low-end CPU, the Ryzen 5 1400, in there. Why not just put the 2600 in and use this as a PC, like gaming PC, all-round editing PC? It's certainly fast enough to do that, so why not do it? So I started on the project last night and this case has been driving me absolutely insane. Now seriously, if you're a person of limited temper or limited temper management, don't buy the InWin A1. Seriously, it is an absolute nightmare to work with. Now you can see the LED at the bottom at the moment. The LED that's in there actually, believe it or not, is an addressable LED. It wasn't originally. The original one is up over on the cupboard over there. So I spent about 3 hours last night taking the old RGB strip out of that thing and replacing it with the, I think it was a Speclux addressable RGB strip, 2 of them, which again I did a review, which we'll probably put a link in somewhere or other. So I spent ages trying to get the wiring right for that. Also put in 2 fans in the bottom. So I wanted to have 2 fans in the bottom blowing up air for the graphics card, which we'll get onto in a little bit. But basically I put the addressable RGBs in there and it now turns out, after all that hard work and effort, essentially I was trying to get it to synchronize with this keyboard and mouse. But the addressable RGB strip, although it's addressable RGB, the ASRock Polychrome RGB software doesn't do the kind of the random RGB light thing. There's all these other things, colors, allegedly to music, all that kind of stuff, but that's it, nothing else. So essentially it's been pretty much a waste of time. So what I'm gonna have to do is I've got a little RGB controller, addressable RGB controller, which I'm gonna connect to a SATA connector in the back of there and then wire it up so I've got manual control over it, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of me changing the RGB strip. So I may actually just take those back out and put the standard one that came with the case back in it. But it's been an RGB nightmare, absolute nightmare. And I got to the point where I was literally going to just sort of throw the whole thing in the bin. I was getting so fed up with it. It was going to have to go. But anyway, oh, the cat's in. So that was the RGB side of it. So I got the motherboard in, got the processor in, the graphics card, now the graphics card was a bit of an odd one. It's an odd choice. In there is the Radeon R9 3800X. 3800? No, 380X, which used Tech Hustle. Sorry, distracted there. One of the members on Discord actually pointed it out, and there was a deal for a load of them. They had dodgy fans, so a few of us in the group bought them, and I put it in there. And if you've seen a previous video of me trying to sort out the fans, failed miserably, so eventually I ended up just buying new fans from AliExpress, which turned up really quickly, which I've put in the graphics card now, and it is actually super silent, considering it's an older card, and actually quite a energy consuming one at that. It actually runs really quiet. Now it's currently just idling, because I've just got the Windows desktop on, but if I take off this side panel and get a bit closer, there's a very, very faint hum of the fans in there. I'm not sure whether it's the fans in the bottom of the chassis. It could actually be the CPU fan, because it's just a stock CPU fan in there. I'm hoping at some point I'm going to upgrade that to an Arctic cooling one. So Arctic Cooling, if you're watching this, please feel free to send me one of your latest and greatest for me to try out in this little chassis. But anyway, so you get the general gist. So inside there, let's take a rundown of the specs. So InWin A1 case, the power supply is the one that comes with it. So that's a ATX power supply, 600 watts, bronze rated. The motherboard is the ASRock Fatality B450, which is actually I really like that board. There's a lot of features on there. Got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 8-channel audio, Intel gigabit LAN. Yeah, basically everything you could want in a board, but very, very small. And one of the good things about the board being super small is the tracks from the CPU to the memory are really, really close together. So you can actually squeeze a little bit more performance out of the memory. So this board I think will do DDR3466 pretty easily. So for a B450 board, that's actually not too bad at all. Anyway, so that's motherboard. We've got Ryzen 5 2600 processor, 16 gigs of RAM. That's the, actually I can't remember what model it was, I'll have to look now. I think was it Silicon Power? No. Yeah, Silicon Power, it was their X-Power Gaming, which again I did a review on ages ago. The only thing with those is that it's good RAM, but it's got this like metallic blue heat spreader on there, which I'm really not keen on. But again, it's in there, you can't really see it, but I may change that at a later date. I've also got some heat spreaders come in actually for my NVMe drive, which I've installed in this PC behind. Again, another video, I'm digressing completely, do apologise. Yeah, so graphics card is the cheapie we picked up. I think I paid £23 for it from eBay with broken fans. Paid another £7 for fans. So for effectively, we've got a Radeon R9 3800X 4 gig card for £30, which I don't think there's another card on the market which you could pick up today, second hand for £30, which would beat that. It actually doesn't do bad at all in the Heaven benchmark. Scored around about 1600, 1700 points, which actually wasn't too bad at all. And I think that's not too far off the kind of levels of the GTX 970 4 gig card, which actually is still a relatively competent 1080p gaming card. So to round it off at the bottom, we've got two NZXT fans, which actually I've stole from George's computer upstairs, which he probably still doesn't know about, and he doesn't watch the videos, so he will never know. Happy days, but he might find out. So yeah, if he looks closely at his S340, he's actually missing two of his fans, because I've got them, they're in there. Also features to this chassis, which again I'm probably going over old ground because I've done this review before, but you've actually got wireless charging built into the top of this thing. So you've got a glass top and you've got a wireless charging plate for QI devices. So I've got my knockoff AirPods, which have been charging up on there. And I can tell they're charging because the case is getting pretty warm, as is the case with these wireless charging devices. One thing I will say about this A1 case is the wireless charging on the top is really hit and miss. And unless you get the exact sweet spot on the top, basically it won't charge, which kind of sucks. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that, if I'm completely honest. I think the glass is either too thick or just the QI charger isn't isn't really up to the job of doing these AirPods. So that was charging just now. I don't know if it's a grease thing. Shouldn't be. Right. It's charging now. So that's charging. Yeah, so there we go. That is basically the update for the InWin case. Oh, Kath's got our pen out. What's the pen for?
Mark it with an X.
Oh, mark it with an X? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Trouble is though, it'll come off, won't it, when I move it around? I'll try. So I think it's there. Let's have a look. Where is the desktop? Okay. So there we go. X marks the spot. Let's see if that works now. It's not far. Oh, it's flickering. Yeah, X marks the spot. There we go. It's working just about. Oh, actually, while I've got it on the other camera view, that is the GameMax Strike keyboard with its mechanical keys. I actually really like this keyboard. But another thing I picked up this week was the GameMax Strike RGB mouse. Now, I did actually reach out to GameMax and ask them for a left-handed mouse, which they don't do. So I went out and looked online, and I think it was Scan Computers in the UK. They had this going for about £12, £13, which actually for a relatively competent gaming mouse, I don't think it's too bad. And I think the LED lighting on it is actually really nice. Brian from Brytech09 or Brytech Computers, he would hate it because it's not a real gaming mouse as such. It's just a mouse with a ton of RGBs on it, and some of the RGBs don't actually work in sync by the look of it. So it's not the best implementation of a mouse as far as that goes, but actually it matches the setup and it's relatively accurate. Let's switch back to the other camera. Is that the one? Yeah, there we go. Happy days. So, what was I going to do? Well, yeah, 21st of August. That was what I was talking about earlier. What happens on the 21st of August? Let's have a look. 21st of August on the old Wikipedia. Something important must have happened, I'm sure. The American Revolutionary War. Nothing exciting. The Mona Lisa was stolen. United States, Eisenhower. Oh, that's when Hawaii became the 50th state. So that's pretty important for some. Let's have a look at something a bit more interesting. Or not interesting, a little bit more up to date. Tiger Woods won the PGA Championship. The 82nd one in the year 2000. And yes, that was what I was thinking it was. 2017, there was a solar eclipse which went across the continental United States. I knew there was something on the 21st of August. I knew it. I do like things like that, solar eclipses and all that kind of stuff. Half moon, solar eclipse. There was an old Jaffa Cakes advert. You'll have to look it up. Right, let's have a look in the chat and see who is chatting and what is going on. Oh, how do I get a pop out? I always get this wrong. I really shouldn't be allowed near a computer at times. I think what it is, my driver hasn't installed properly on here, so I can't see what's going on. Yeah, I should have my Microsoft Surface here, which I haven't. Yeah, I never find that. Where is the damn things? Why, oh why is it never there? Enable live chat, yes, I want to do that. But I want to be able to see what's going on. Right, I need to change my scaling. First world problems. So I would say good evening to whoever's in the room, but I can't see. Oh, Kath just said see you at night, so hi mate, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing better than me, because this is turning into a nightmare. And actually, Seam at Night is partially to blame for a lot of this stuff because he keeps on posting all these deals on the Discord server, and yeah, essentially it is totally his fault. I've done it again. Done. Right, where is the pop-out chat box? I'm sure it's here somewhere. This is in such a weird resolution. Live chat. Oh, what the hell? Does that work? Yeah, that'll do. Ah, dear. Things are never easy. Right, okay, so what have we done this week? So, unboxing wise, actually, what have we done this week, Kath? Unboxing? I don't even know. Do you guys know what I've done this week? I haven't got a bloody clue. It is all over the place. Absolute mess. I'll tell you what we have got coming up actually, which is, well, there'll be a full review of this GameMax Strike RGB gaming mouse, which actually I'm getting to more and more like. I thought it's not actually a left-handed mouse, but it does work quite nicely for me, being a left-hander. And I was a little bit concerned. I did a test on it a little bit earlier, because I tested this mouse versus the Microsoft IntelliMouse, the original one, the Rio Toro Aurochs RGB mouse, and the Cooler Master Master Keys Lite mouse. So all of those are in and around the same sort of price. The Rio Toro one's a little bit more expensive, so that one shouldn't really have been a part of it. But the others all around the sort of £15 to £20 mark. And I was doing an accuracy test to see how accurate they were and whether or not my influence or my kind of judgment was being influenced by branding and all that kind of stuff, or kind of personal favourites. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a packet of crisps and they're Walkers or whatever it may be, and you get some cheapy Tesco's own brand and you eat them, if you didn't know where they were from, chances are if you picked them out of a bowl, you wouldn't have a clue and you'd enjoy them just as much. So it's that kind of brand snobbery is that coming into it. So I immediately thought that I preferred the Cooler Master keyboard and the Cooler Master Master Keys Lite keyboard set mouse. Wow. This gets harder and harder every time. You'd think it'd get easier. The more you do videos and the more you do streaming, you'd think it would get easier. But it definitely doesn't. Anyway, so I thought the Cooler Master mouse was the better one, and I thought it was more accurate. I played some games, done some Counter-Strike, all that kind of stuff, and just editing videos, and I thought, yeah, the Cooler Master one is definitely the more accurate. The GameMax one seems actually rubbish. Didn't seem to have the right accuracy. So I loaded up an accuracy test, which you can do yourself in your browser. Just type in Google, mouse accuracy test. There's an online test you can do. Lasts about 30 seconds or so. You just basically click on shapes as you would if you were gaming. And I found that with a mouse and a mouse pad, all three of them, or all four of them I think it was, were pretty much all the same. There was very little in it, and my accuracy was relatively good on all of them. But without a mouse pad, I found that the GameMax one wasn't as good, and the Rio Toro actually came out on top, which is not surprising because it was expensive. And as Steve McKnight says, IntelliMouse for the win. It is. The old IntelliMouse was fantastic. I absolutely love it. And if I could, I would certainly get another one now. But they just don't do the same ones. I got the Microsoft Sidewinder X3 gaming mouse, and that was a personal favourite of mine for a long time. I actually bought about 3 or 4 of those off eBay because they were great. Oh, and Aletta's in the house. Good evening, Aletta. It's, yeah, mice is such a weird thing. People go for the kind of expensive models, like the Logitechs and all that kind of stuff, Corsairs, things like that. I've never been one of those to go for the really expensive models. Probably the most expensive one I got is the this one, the Viper from, who was that from? I can't remember now. Patriot Viper gaming mouse. And actually that is the most expensive mouse we've got, and I actually don't find it very easy to use. But again, it's a personal preference with all these things. I'm left-handed, so being it's predominantly a right-handed mouse, I suck at it. So Aletta saying at mouse discussion, yes, we are, yeah, we seem to, it was starting off to be an update on the InWin, and then for some reason we've got onto mice because I've got this, what it seems to be a cheap and nasty gaming mouse, but I actually quite like it. It's all right. It's not bad at all. What are your thoughts? He says, cup of tea time. Sorry, I've been on the go all day and I haven't stopped. Oh, that is a great cup of tea right there. And actually, backtracking, as I always do. This Silicon Power external drive is actually almost what inspired this entire build, which seems absolutely ridiculous, but if you know what me and Kath are like, we did a really stupid thing years ago. We bought a mirror which had a leather bound outside, and actually if you look at some of our videos that are done in the living room, that mirror is still there. And essentially we changed our entire living room. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Kath is gesturing to me. Do bear with. Yeah, you can get rid of that, yeah. Do you want a pen? There you go. Kath's helping out. Yeah, so essentially we changed our entire living room, bought a new sofa, redecorated the whole place, all because of a mirror, which seems odd. And now I've just repeated the process, so I had this white external mechanical drive, which actually is not that good, but it does the job. And I built this entire PC, essentially, so I can put that drive on the top and make use of it. How daft is that? Ah, dear. Alexa says, enjoy your tea, I've got beer today. I am actually looking forward to a beer. Do you know what? I haven't had a beer or any spiced rum for, I don't know how long. It must be months, absolutely months. I think the last time was probably actually on one of these streams. I haven't done it at all. Now we've got Kev from ClickTech UK. He says, you are daft. This is very true, and if any of you have seen my recent activities of me falling through my self-built patio pallet table, which was thanks to one of our exterior wireless cameras. See, all these cameras I've been reviewing, you knew one day it would come in handy and they would actually make themselves useful by recording me and my stupid ass falling through a table. So, yeah. Oh, See McKnight has gone and ruined things by saying I need a white USB cable, surely. Actually, I probably do. Luckily, this one isn't captive, so I can remove it, and I could actually change that. Although, I've got to be honest with you, I'm more tempted to actually take the drive out of here and stick it in the back of the machine just to remove some more wires, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I change my mind all the time. I'm like, I think of something, I think, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that, and then I definitely don't do it. For example, this Ryzen 5. Those on the Discord will remember I said, oh, I've just placed an order for my Ryzen 5 1600X. Yay, got a good deal on it, fantastic. Literally within about 2 days, it was in shipping from Amazon, from their warehouse somewhere, and I cancelled it and bought this one instead. So I just couldn't make my mind up. But this actually has changed my mind a little bit. I was thinking that it's not really a great idea to do an upgrade from a Ryzen 5 1600 or a Ryzen 7 1700 or 1700X. It isn't really worth doing an upgrade to the second gen or even the third gen for that matter, because the incremental benefits from the larger costs. But actually, even with my limited usage of this thing is actually really, really nippy. It turbo boosts up really nicely, up to 3.9 gigahertz. It idles quite happily. It sort of, I think it was about 2.5 gigahertz, something like that. It turbos right down, so it saves energy. Yeah, it runs great. It's really snappy. Got 6 cores, 12 threads. I'm actually really looking forward to getting Adobe Premiere on here and doing some video editing, because if it turns out that this machine is better for video editing, I might just sit here all day long, edit videos, film the video, turn it off, edit it, job done. It'd be really, really handy. And it's actually more comfortable to sit here at this desk than it is my own computer desk, which sucks. So.
Better angle of me.
Hmm?
Better view of me.
Yeah, and also I got a better view of Kath because I can see her over there, and she's currently wearing no clothes, which is really distracting when you're trying to do a live stream. Hey ho. Anyway, moving on. So Alexa says, I saw your little trip through a table, glad you didn't get hurt. No, the only thing that hurt was my pride. I love that damn table. Love that table. Although, on the plus side, hopefully tomorrow is going to be a dry day, so I'm going to try and remake a new one. So I might have to go and find some pallets.
No, it's rained.
Sorry?
It's rained.
Has rain? Oh. Kath's just rained on my parade, quite literally. And ClickTech UK says there is a reflective side panel. so they can see you, Cav. Hide. Hide. No, he can't. Kev can't see you. He's over 40. His eyesight's shot to pieces. Aletta says, pan the camera. Oh, what have I started now? Oh, actually, I can't because the camera's over there. I can't reach it. Sorry. Kev likes that. Ninja47 is in with us. Good evening to you, Ninja. Yeah, so, oh, and the blind is self-levitating. Anyway, so what did we do this week on video? So we did the Fortnite crash fix, which actually, I don't play Fortnite hardly at all. In fact, generally I only play it to find the bugs or to work out where the bugs are and to look at fixes and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually rubbish at it, which I think probably most people of my generation now are, because our reaction times are absolutely shot to pieces. So these young kids come on and they're like literal kind of saviors. They just come on and then sort of click, 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 bang, 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 that's it, game over. And they're like, ha. Anyway, so yeah, we did the Fortnite crash fix. We've got some other Fortnite stuff coming up as well, and also some PUBG stuff. There's one of our forum members has actually written a massive document of various different fixes that can be used in both Fortnite, PUBG, and some other games as well. So it's, there's going to be some really beneficial fixes, and also things for improving frame rate performance, frame time performance, more importantly. So for those of you with reaction time issues or lag issues, then hopefully we're going to be getting to those soon. So I know those kinds of videos don't always work for everybody and you don't always like them. Yeah, as ClickTech says, yeah, the is PUBG still a thing? It is, it still has a pretty big following. Bizarrely, I think PUBG's almost gone from being one of those kind of titles that explodes to now almost becoming like almost cult status, very much like Unreal Tournament did back in the day. So I was looking at the comments here. Radeon anti-lag. Yeah, Radeon anti-lag actually does incorporate, from what I've heard from the forum member, some of the technology or some of the fixes that he actually had written or compiled are part of the anti-lag solution. Whether or not there's any truth in that, I honestly don't know. It's a massive document and I haven't read the whole thing, I've just sifted through it, but from what I can tell, some of those fixes are absolutely brilliant. Ninja47, I prefer Apex Legends. Now Apex Legends actually, some of the fixes I did notice were for that as well. So again, although essentially it's a PUBG guide, a lot of the information is relevant pretty much to any game because it just improves system stability for, predominantly it's going to be based for NVIDIA cards, but there are a lot of stuff for AMD as well, so we'll be bringing that to you. And we got Pixel Byte, otherwise known as Panos, in the house. Good evening to you. Aletta hasn't played any of those games. No, Aletta is one of those that her idea of games are benchmarks. And actually, C. McKnight and Aletta have got a lot in common because C. McKnight is all over the benchmarks, and from what I've heard from Aletta, you are also. Ninja47, have you seen Bright Memory Ep1 with RTX? Looks great. No, I haven't actually. I've got to be honest with you, I've been working like an absolute lunatic recently. I've had very little time, lots of things going on. It's been a real struggle, literally working from kind of 8 in the morning till midnight every day, and it's getting a bit much. So I've been trying to get as much done as possible, but I've not been watching a great deal of videos, not been keeping up with technology, to be completely honest with you. I've skimmed over the new stuff coming out, the Ryzen 3000 series, and some of the stuff which has been posted on the Discord by C. McKnight and others. There's been there's been a lot of stuff going on, but I've come to the kind of realization, it's much like mobile phones at the moment, nothing has changed. We've got these tiny little increments of performance improvements, and it's just so boring. With AMD catching up to Intel, fantastic, it's great, competition in the market is what we need. Graphics card wise, we're still Nvidia all the way really. They are ruling the roost, massive market share, massively dominant in the marketplace. ATI have still got a lot, or sorry, Radeon Industries rather, have got a lot of catching up. Yeah, Ninja 47's the 57XT Red Devil is the hottest news at the moment. Now, I have actually seen there's been quite a few videos which have been released recently, so I'm going to have to catch up on those and see what's going on. I would really, really love for AMD to come back with a great graphics card and really hit Nvidia for 6, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not across the board. Nvidia at the moment, pretty much every price point or every market segment, they are pretty much on fire. AMD have got some pretty decent stuff in the low end, such as like the APUs and like that, the 5700XT seems to be very good. But there is, there's not enough competition. There's not enough innovation either. I watched a video, some of you probably watch Austin. Hey guys, it's Austin, that guy. And he was talking to one of his other YouTuber friends saying about mobile phones, how since the iPhone came out, really there's not been any innovation. Before that you had kind of flip phones, you had the BlackBerry, loads and loads of different designs. Whereas the iPhone came out, it changed the entire landscape, and essentially since then all phones have been pretty much identical, where it's been a rectangular blob and essentially has been, well, it's literally just been a slab of a screen. A few little enhancements along the way, but they're all very, very similar. It's got really boring. And it's really sad that people don't want to innovate. Like we've seen things like touch sensors. Touch sensors has gone from the back of the phone to the side of the phone to the front of the phone to in the screen. But that's kind of it.
Uranus in Aries, 2011 till 2019, that was maybe technology.
Ah, yeah.
And now it's...
Yeah, Kath was just saying that there was a thing, if you're into kind of astrological things and all that kind of stuff, it was supposed to be from kind of 2011, was it? To 2019 was supposed to be like this big technology bubble where things were going to advance at a massively fast rate, and then that'll be it for a while. And I think we've kind of got to that point where CPUs can't really get much faster, GPUs don't seem to be getting much faster, phone designs aren't changing. So have we come to the kind of end of the road? Is 2020 going to be kind of like, right, that's it, we can't really do much more? That is the end of the wrong. End of the road? End of things. Well, it won't be the end. There'll always be something different. But it's like Moore's Law. God. Got someone else's teeth in. I think I got Panos's teeth in tonight. Sorry, Panos. So Aletta, I'm happy with my 1660 Ti. It handles my ultra-wide 1440p just fine. Supernight Vega 56, a lot of fun to tweak. I think that is where the sweet spot is for most people. Around that kind of edge. 1660 Ti, maybe a 1070 Ti, Vega 56, Vega 64. Those kind of cards in the sort of anywhere from kind of 200 to 300 pounds or dollars, that's the kind of sweet spot. For me, it seems really, really pointless spending more money than is absolutely necessary on upgrades at the moment. There's nothing actually which says it's like this is new and you must have this feature and it makes this run much better. Like QuickSync did with Intel, where when QuickSync came out and it was then available to be used in Adobe Premiere, and it helped with other encoding tasks in video rendering, all that kind of stuff, or H.265 content, or was it 264? 264 or 265 anyway, one of those. It helped with that. So there was a little bit of a bump. So everyone's like, oh yeah, that's a great piece of technology. That is helpful for my workflow. I need it in my life. And you'd buy it. But now it's just like, what is going on? Supernight says, Radeon image sharpening looks interesting on the new Navi cards though. Yeah, actually image sharpening, that is a really helpful thing. Although, again, it's one of those things that the human eye can only see to a certain level, and obviously as we get older, like me in ClickTech UK, who ClickTech UK is like, he's nearly getting on to about 85 now, so his eyesight's shot to pieces, as is mine. Welsh Tony is in exactly the same boat, Brytech, all of us are over that certain point of the hill where we can barely see the wall at the end of the road, sort of thing, or the end, barely see the wall at the end of the room. So yeah, image sharpening is no, not much use said it. ClickTech UK said, who said that? I forgot to mention he's also losing his hearing also, as am I. And yeah, and so has been Google today. Actually, any of you out there who have got Google Home devices at the moment, let me know, is your Home Assistant, is it going deaf? Because I find myself saying repeatedly the trigger word, the trigger word, the trigger word, until eventually she wakes up from her deep slumber and I'm like, oh, what can I do? Any of you getting the same problem? Is it just me? Is it just that lazy ass device I got over there? Alexa says, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get something nice. My $200 X570 Asus Tough Gaming Mobo is awesome. Yeah, that's still $200 is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I personally would consider that as being a luxury purchase. That is, to me, is a lot of money. Like, I paid £100 for this B450 gaming motherboard, and I think that's possibly one of the most expensive boards I've bought. Chris Channon's in the house now.
ClickText.
Oh, sorry. ClickText. Oh, it's your dodgy accent. Thanks for that. Dodgy accent? You're a bloody Brummie. What the hell? I'm not going to do the Brummie accent out of respect, but I might do in a minute. Chris Channon says, no, my Google Home Assistant, no, it's just bored of listening to me. You're probably right. You're probably right. Now, Chris Channon, actually, big up Chris Channon. Chris Channon is the official UK master trainer for Sonax car detailing, polishing, all that kind of stuff. So, well done to Chris. He's doing some pretty good work at the moment for Sonax. And if you actually, anyone who's here, have you heard of the brand Sonax? This is a little bit of a straw poll now. Actually, it'd be good for a letter because you're an American. Or you're in America. Sonax, S-O-N-A-X. Do you know that brand? Have you heard of them? Yeah, Cav's saying that.
Ninjas from Birmingham as well.
Ninjas from Birmingham as well. Ninja, you better subscribe to ClickTech. Oh, ClickTech's written it now in the comments. Now I've read it, I can't not say it. You're always bad.
We do karaoke.
We do actually, I have done, or attempted to do karaoke in the Birmingham style. But I won't be doing that because I haven't had enough beer. Yeah, this is going off topic. It is Sonax. Well, Sonax are a massive company. They've been around about from I want to say the 1970s, but I think it's before that. But essentially, they're massive across Europe, Germany, lots of other places, and Chris is the first, I believe, of the first and only UK master trainer for Sonax. So big up to Chris. That's if you're into your car stuff and shiny, beady finishes, etc. So I've never heard of Sonax. No. Have you heard of Damon Hill? And who was the other one? There was another one. Basically, if you're into Formula One, Sonax have sponsored Formula One cars since almost Formula One started. It's ridiculous. Their name has gone past you probably 50 times every time you've watched Formula One. Anyway, so Ninja doesn't live in Birmingham anymore though. Have you lost your accent? You still got your accent, boots? Well, that went a bit off piece there. Anyway, gone right off topic. So what else did we do this week? So we did the AMD, what? I can't even read that. I got what's his face's eyes in. Here, Kev ClickTech, you can have your eyeballs back. I need mine. AMD, what's that? AM1, tear down and rebuild. Yes, that's one. I'm only joking. We did the my little mini PC, the AMD AM1 mini rebuild thing. Took that piece of technology. I was looking for the word there and I was really struggling. That is a really weird piece of kit, that little AM1 board. Now, I've got a really soft spot for it and I really do like it. But it annoys me in the fact that I can't upgrade it in the way that I want to. I would have loved to put that motherboard and processor in there, but just it is not fitting in there for love nor money. I don't think it potentially would have done it justice, but it was a really good little PC. So we've rebuilt that, refreshed it, ready to go up into Angel's bedroom, which is above, which actually is brilliant because her PC that's out there at the moment, the fans in it are noisy as hell. It reverberates through the ceiling and I can hear it and it's just driving me mad. So she's going to get our little PC to keep her quiet, and that one was going to go into there. So maybe it won't now. I don't know. Maybe I need to build another PC. I actually want to build an Intel PC. Now I've actually got another PC for review, which, should I get out now? That might be a bit of hard work. Potentially I could break everything. But I've got an MSI, what is it, Kath? An MSI Trident A gaming PC, which is the Intel i5 9400F, I believe, with a RTX 2060 from memory. Yeah, it does say on the box, but I can't see the box from here. So I've got to do a review. MSI actually reached out to me and said, Mike, would you like to review this? And I think they thought I was some other YouTuber, so I was like, yeah, send it over, great. So they've sent me that to take a look at. Now that is going to be a bit disappointing because that effectively is much nicer than that. So I might want both. I don't know, we'll see.
Queen Brian's here.
Ah, Brytech09, the queen, the queen. I was going to say the queen of the British YouTube, English YouTube, whatever. Good evening, Brian. How are you? I'm struggling. Elvis has left the building. Click to UK. It must have been small on the cars. It was. They couldn't afford a lot of sponsorship. Actually, that's good timing because Brian actually done a projector review. I think it was it yesterday?
I think it was.
You have to let me know, Brian. Was it yesterday? I think it was. I did watch it. I went to comment on it, and because I was on my mobile phone, it wouldn't let me comment. So anyway, but yeah, that was ClickTech. I think Mike needs a beer. I think I need more than a beer. It's been a long couple of weeks. Or better drugs. Better drugs would be good. They should definitely legalise cannabis in England. That would make life a lot easier for a lot of people. On that bombshell. Right, so yeah, Brian did a review on a little projector, which I think it was actually really similar to the one I did, which was the Elifast, the 3600 lumens one. So it's yeah, that was an interesting review. Actually, I meant to ask you, Brian, was that projector, what was the fan sound on it like? Was it reasonably noisy? I know most of them generally are, but I would love to see if there's one that is, okay, yeah, ClickTech Kev says, that's demonetised then, yeah? Oh dear, I said something to do with drugs. That is it, I'm screwed now. There goes the monetisation. Ah, what the hell, it's only a live stream anyway. You don't get paid much for these, if at all. Yeah. So Brian, what was the fan noise like on it? Because I've actually been sent through, if you pass that over, Kath?
No.
Let's have a little look, see if we can get it out of the box. Now, a lot of these projectors that we see on, well, mostly actually on YouTube and Amazon and all those kind of places these days, they are generally, they say they're 1080p, and invariably they're not. No, that's the Elifast one, yeah, I'll have that one. So you get ones like this. This is the Elifast, high brightness, mini and ultra lightweight. They all say this kind of stuff on them. And to be fair, this one I think was, what was this, £30? This wasn't it, Kath, from VPON?
Yeah.
So for £30 for a projector, this thing was bloody brilliant. I got to be honest with you, it was excellent. There was a few quirks about it which I didn't like. The fan was a little bit noisy. The power connector was on the side of it for some bizarre reason. So like the HDMI was on one side and the power on the other, so it stuck out like a pair of ears on it. It was really, really weird. But like most of them, this is 720p native resolution, which I personally think has possibly been upscaled from 480 anyway. So although it looks fine on a large window or a large wall or wherever it is you're displaying it, I had it on my wall, which is a plasterboard wall which has been painted and it's got lumps and bumps everywhere, so it's not a perfect surface by any means. but it was definitely enjoyable. Brian says, yeah, £79 the one he did. So I guess it's probably exactly the same as this one. It's not loud. Okay, that's interesting.
Not that loud.
So yeah, it wasn't, I wouldn't say this one was kind of, it wasn't distractingly loud as long as you've got the speakers on. If you're looking to watch a silent or a very quiet movie or an atmospheric movie late at night, it's going to have low volume, this is definitely not for you. But if you just want to play games or watch some movies, something like Top Gun, Days of Thunder, something loud, what's the one with the cars? Not Need for Speed. Fast and Furious, those kinds of movies where it's loud and it's always in your face, then these are brilliant for that sort of thing. But if you want something a little bit quieter, you've got to pay a bit more money. So that is where something like this comes in. So this is one I've been sent for review actually, and I have taken this out and I actually watched Hot Fuzz the other night on this, and the difference actually is night and day. It really is. The speakers in this are fantastic. The image is it's a dedicated 1080p native. So obviously it costs a little bit more. I think this one retails was, what was it, Kath, about 250? I think it was about 200 to 250 pounds in that sort of region. So you're looking at sort of 3-4 times the amount of what the generic ones are that you get on Amazon and that. But the difference is staggering. It genuinely is. If any of you follow me on Twitter, I think I posted on Twitter. Yeah, it was on Twitter or Instagram, one of the two. I posted an image of this, which I took a picture of when it was on the wall. And you can actually zoom into the image, and even the picture off the wall is amazing. The detail in it was fantastic. And considering how bad that wall surface is, this looked brilliant. The picture quality was excellent. It's got a bit more brightness than the other ones. Most of the other ones are like 3600 lumens, which is okay, it's fine, but ideally it needs to be in pitch black. Whereas this actually doesn't look too bad in relatively sort of muted light. All of them, to be honest with you, look rubbish in daylight, and none of them are anywhere near as good as the proper industrial projectors, like work projectors, where they're designed to be used with kind of pretty heavy fluorescent tube lighting and all that kind of stuff. They're nowhere near the quality of that. No, most of those you need to pay kind of £1,000 to £2,000 for, but for like a really low price, but for a decent quality, this is brilliant. Anyway, there's going to be a full review coming up on that very, very shortly, which I'm actually really looking forward to because I get to watch movies again. Excellent stuff. So, what else we got coming up, Kath? What's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? I'm going to look at the board now, see what else we got. We've got loads of fixes that we're going to do. There's one, somebody asked about optimizing USB drives for performance. Now, if you use a USB external drive, a plug-in drive, or maybe one like this, an external hard disk drive, you may have noticed that you're not getting the greatest throughput on it, especially on flash drives. When you plug them into a USB 3 port, you get some pretty decent burst speeds, up to like 100 megabits per second or 100 megabytes per second, whichever it is. But soon after, when you're transferring the files, it rapidly drops off. So we've got some fixes coming. So if you're one of these people who like to transfer pretty large files, so maybe it's kind of DivX's, MP4s, I don't know, whatever it is, video files, even backups, that kind of stuff, where there's kind of loads and loads of little files, which they actually take a lot longer to transfer than big files, because big files can get up to quite a high speed and then contain it and keep it going, whereas lots of small files, because of the I/O, it actually is a real heavy strain on the system. But we've got some fixes coming up very shortly which will improve those dramatically. I've had a play with this already, doing some testing to make sure it actually works before I do the video, so I don't get loads of abuse and slating. So, and at the moment it's tripled the speed for transfer, especially for smaller files, which is really, really handy. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, I think. What else we've done? Oh, the Office install. What did you think of the Office install? The dodgy Windows keys and dodgy Office keys from eBay, which actually weren't dodgy. Well, what do you think? Were they dodgy? Let's have a show of hands. What do people think? Give us an F in the comments if you think those Windows keys and the Office keys are dodgy. I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are, because I know what my thoughts are. I'm quite happy if I log into my computer, I open up the program, and it says, sorry, I just noticed, look at my dog, says, Mike, can you, can I fall through a table again? Hey, I'll do my best. I'll see what I can do for you. ClickTef's giving us an F, and that's Nick's giving us a U. Uh-oh, let's hope we don't get a C and a K, because that would really make things look bad. So, yeah, personally, I'm cool with it. I've literally, as I've just reinstalled Windows on this machine tonight, as I've been sat here getting this set up, I've gone into that account which I mentioned in the video, and a lot of people say that those accounts will get terminated pretty much within 24 hours. And it's been, what, 3 or 4 days now since I've done that video, and I've got the account name written up on the board up there. So I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll try it again. And I've installed it, and if I click on the start menu here, where are we? Yeah, let's change the other camera. So you can see there's Microsoft Access. So that's just been installed. And we've got Excel, and we've got OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint, Publisher, and yeah, it's all good. There's no KMS keys, no dodgy installers. Literally, I just went to the portal, signed in with the username and password after changing the password, and it's yeah, it just keeps on going. It's not 100% as Microsoft intended, that's for damn sure, but it works. Oh, and that doesn't work well, does it? That's good. Yeah, so the keys work fine. Like, why? I guess if you're a business or something, then you've got to prove your licensing and you've got to produce invoices and what have you, and you can claim it back from tax. But for most people, me, you guys out there watching this at the moment, if you want a copy of Office, now actually I had a conversation with another member on a Discord server, the Blind Bard, hopefully you won't mind me mentioning this, but we were discussing about Windows keys, and he was saying that it's actually very interesting that we brought it up, that you can pay a relatively small figure, like less than well, essentially the same price as a coffee almost, for a Windows license for software, which, yes, it is a kind of grey area because it's not being used in the way it was intended to, but you're not actually breaking the law. You're not pirating the software. The people that are selling you the software, they're going around it, they're circumventing the law, or circumventing the rules and regulations, not the law. My mistake, I shouldn't have said that. It's not the law. It's the user agreement, or the end user licensing agreement. That is what they're slightly circumventing by selling on that license, when effectively they should give you it. If they gave you it, it would be completely legitimate as long as you kind of worked for them or had an affiliation with them, whatever. So by buying it is a very kind of, it's a grey area. Let's be completely honest, it is a grey area. But realistically, what would you rather have? A slightly grey license on your PC, or some kind of weird KMS backdoor, or some kind of activation crack which you've downloaded off of a BitTorrent site somewhere, which could have absolutely anything in it. And even just trying to get the crack, you'd have to go to a BitTorrent site of some sort, or a Ware site, in which case it's pretty much guaranteed there's going to be a virus or a pop-up, all that kind of crap. Why bother with it? Go to eBay, buy a key. If you're going to do it, make sure you use our affiliate links. Links are provided in the description below. But yeah, why not just do it? Just buy a cheap key. Oh yeah, before now I bought keys for £60 I think it was, for a year's subscription, 5 user subscription. But it's like, well, why pay £60 when I can pay £3 or £4?
Ninja 47 said, have you made a video about freeing up internet speeds within Windows 10? Windows 10 does hold 20% internet for scheduled window updates, he believes.
Oh right, that's an interesting thing. Kath's just saying that, was it Ninja 47? Was asking about the internet speeds being throttled by Windows reserving speed for Windows updates. I don't know if that is still true. I think I did hear about that years ago, and there was kind of various things which you could go on into the task scheduler and disable to make it faster, but I don't know whether that is still a thing, or whether or not now that internet speeds have got much faster, whether or not that is quite such a chunk of the internet speeds. But anyway, I missed out some stuff here. Superknight says, I have bought 2 keys on Amazon, both have been fine. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying, is if you can buy off eBay, which is a company, if you can buy off Amazon, which obviously is the biggest company on the planet, if you can buy it off them, then surely you're not breaking the law. Because they're selling it to you, you're buying it from them, it's a legal transaction. If anything, if there was any comeback, you would say, well, they've sold it to me. It's through their shop. If you went into a watch shop and bought a Rolex and it was a fake Rolex and you got busted for it, you'd be like, well, they sold me it. Yeah, I bought it, but they told me it was all genuine, it was all above board. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of weird thing. Anyway, I'm probably digressing now, but I thought it was actually it was a nice thing to kind of discuss and go over, because it is actually very expensive to buy Windows stuff and licensing. Now, I am considering doing the same thing for Adobe Premiere, but from what I can tell, the versions of Adobe Premiere and Photoshop and all that kind of stuff, which are on eBay and on Amazon for that matter, are pretty much complete, whereas they've got activation cracks included with them and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's a good idea to even promote or entertain that kind of idea. So, but I'd be interested to know what, sorry, I'm just laughing there at Aletta, who's, she's retracted her message now, so I'm not going to say it. But, yes. I was going to comment on that, but I can't now. Scuppered. The calf's like, what was it? Well, I'll tell you a funny story actually about license keys. Years ago, there used to be these stores. Oh, Ninja's going. All right, Ninja, catch up with you later. All the best. Keep up the great work, Mike. Which Mike? Me. Thanks. Very kind. Actually, yeah, that's a good thing. What Superknight's saying there. If you sign up for a qualifying course, you can get an educational Windows license. And you used to always be able to get. You could sign up to be like a product tester, and then you could get a key which would give you like 5 Windows licenses, 5 Office licenses, Windows Server license, all those kind of things. You basically get an entire book with stickers in, so you could just take off your OEM sticker, stick it on a machine, say, right, I've licensed that. I can't think what it was called now. There was a program, and it was about £250 a year, but you get loads and loads of software. Aletta has come back from the graveyard and has said what she said again. So just to clarify, Aletta once grabbed a Windows key off of a laptop at Walmart. Oh, she retracted because of a bad typo, not because of your wanton theft. It's actually, that is something that definitely I've done before, and me and Kath have been in PC World, or it might have even been like a Tesco's or something like that, and they had PCs on display, and we just tilted them up and took a picture of the OEM code on the bottom to see if we could get it to work again, but they didn't. Gutted. Anyway. ClickTech UK is an apprentice at 44, so he might qualify. MSDN, that was it. MSDN. Yeah, the Microsoft Developer Network, was it? I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Oh, Brightech's been mean now.
Brightech's about to be mean, I think, yeah. They still do thing, but it's not open to the general public. Yeah, that makes sense. It's about time actually they got rid of that, because the developer network was used and abused, something rotten, and you could go all sorts of places and there'd be all kinds of weird keys on things which had appeared, which was never a great idea.
Is that maybe you look?
Microsoft Solution Developer. Brightech, you bad, bad man. You look 50 plus. Poor old Kev. I've been the one who looks 50 plus. Look at the state of my barnet. It's all gone. Anyway, moving on.
We sell quite a lot of clippers now.
Although, yeah, actually saying that, my hairline, or lack of therein, has actually worked wonders for my Amazon affiliate account, because I did a review for some Woner hair clippers or trimmers ages ago, and those things are selling like hotcakes. It's almost like time for a Bermuda holiday out of the affiliate commission on those things. It's fantastic. Who would have thought somebody with no hair would be able to sell hair clippers? That's YouTube for you right there, folks.
Talk about manscaping.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Kath was just saying, I think it was all the talk of manscaping in the video which kind of really made people want to pull the trigger and get trimmed down there. Anyway. ClickTech UK, a friend of mine, his, has it whatever it is now and sorts me out with free keys whenever I need. Happy days. Baby U is asking, have you ever tried a 240 Hz monitor? No, I haven't actually. I totally have not. I think the fastest monitor I've got is my AOC, can't remember what the part number is now, the 32-inch thing. It's FreeSync, but I think it's only up to, I think it's 75 Hz. I don't think it's even as far as 100. Maybe it overclocks to 100, I'm not sure. I think it's 75 Hz FreeSync on that, which actually I find okay. I've not really experienced a faster monitor. George has got the, what has he got? I did a review on it, I should know the name of this. It was one of the very first reviews I did and it was absolutely awful, and the lights turned off halfway through because I was using some cheap rechargeable crap and it died on me. I can't think what it was. I can't remember what it was, it's completely gone. Is it Asus, that monitor, Kath, can you remember?
Which one, sorry?
George's monitor when we got it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was an Asus, but that was 144 Hz, I think. And actually, I've used it on George's computer, and I don't like it, because as soon as I get on there, I try and move the mouse, and the mouse is like spinning around all over the place, and I haven't got a clue what's going on. If you're younger and you've got that kind of reaction time, then that's all good, but me personally, I don't. Brian says, Mike is beach body ready. Yeah, not far off. I've lost just over a stone by eating sensibly, more so, and working very hard. Still eating loads of junk though, so that's all good. And certainly pushing my way to diabetes. Going to be there soon, hopefully. No, I don't, I'm joking. Kath just says BG 248 QE was the monitor that I reviewed ages ago. Which actually, it was our second video. It was like a £250 monitor, I think, at the time, for a 24-inch monitor. And I was like, oh my god, 24 inches for 250 quid? Are you absolutely mad? But George likes it, he still uses it, so whatever.
It was his 18th birthday, huh?
Yeah, it was his 18th birthday. We bought it for him, I think, didn't we? Whew. Maybe you can remake Telly Savalas' classic Birmingham ad. Oh, I don't know that. I'm going to have to YouTube that later. It'll be tabletop dancing before you know it. Yes, I will. ClickTech. I do look over 50, almost as old as you and Mike, Brian. Thank you very much, sir. We do like banter on here. Us YouTubers do like to take the Michael out of each other. It's actually really easy to do as well. Because we are very much kind of public points of fun. Essentially. Glenn is in the house. Good evening, Glenn. Table through dancing. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Table through dancing. ClickTech. Brian, I hope I look as good as you at 53, whatever you look like.
Is that how old Brian is?
Are you 53, Brian? It's all coming out now. Brian could be a hand model, yeah. Brightech's lost a stone and a half because he's taken his wallet out and put it on the side dresser. Those 20s aren't getting heavy, those new polymer ones, aren't they? And the 50s, they do add a bit of weight. A letter saying a stone, is that like £10, right? 14. Yeah, £14 I've lost. Which is actually the same price as one of these. So if you want to pick one of these up, affiliate links will be in the description below. Ah, dear. It's all kicking off now. There's a war of the tubers. Right, what else was I going to talk about? There was something else.
Whose ear was it in his video for the earphones?
Oh, Kath is asking, Brian, whose ear was in your video for the headphone video you did recently?
They weren't hairy enough to be his.
Yeah, they weren't hairy enough to be yours.
Daughter.
ClickTech UK, what mouse? Where have you been? This one. Game Max Strike RGB gaming mouse, which isn't really a gaming mouse, it's more of just a mouse with loads of RGB on it. Lots of RGB that Brian absolutely loves. Brian loves his RGB. Can't get enough of it. Gotta have a lot of it. Or subtle RGB like this, we can work with. Who what? Kath? Brian's saying.
When he did his earphones.
You did an earphone video very recently and
Look a while.
there was someone modelling them. Type it in the comments. Do you think I am a bloody operator?
Yeah, operator 42.
Right, that was it. As some of you may have noticed, there has been a distinct lack of AirPod videos coming my direction recently, and I've said that before on in a previous video, I think, or maybe in a previous stream, or maybe in a Discord chat, I can't remember. Basically, the AirPod videos now are going to die a death. They've done basically what they can. The clones now are effectively not far off the price of the real thing. So obviously, the real thing is the better option because they're the real thing. So unless something comes along which is basically perfect, either Bluetooth-wise, battery-wise, connectivity, sound, or whatever, it's not going to be on the channel. It's not going to happen. If they're super, super cheap and they're pretty good, then I might review them. But if they're in the usual kind of 30, 40, 50, 60 pound range and they're just another version of what we've already seen, it's not going to happen. So if you're a subscriber and you've tuned into these videos purely for AirPod videos, well, it's been nice knowing you. Feel free to stick around, but you ain't going to see many more videos. You might see the odd how-to or fix videos, but I've got to be honest with you, starting reviewing those things has been an absolute pain in my ass. Because I've got, actually I'll show you now, I'll switch to the other camera. This is ridiculous. This is the kind of support that I have to end up giving people after reviewing these things. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We're at camera number 4. So hopefully you can see that up there. So that is my wall of shame. So we've got the i10, the i10 TWS-Ls, the i11, the i12, the i12 blue label, the red label. Then moving down, we've got the LKT8s, we've got some Air 2, XY pods, the Exeter 200s, and then some other ones. And then move along further down, and we got even more. So we got, oh, that's a deep cool fan controller. Don't stick that in your ears. It won't work very well. But there we go. There's a ton. That's just the ones I got left. Now I've actually got. I've done a load of giveaways, and down in this pile here somewhere, or over there somewhere, under there, there is a bunch of more. Where is it? There is a. Kath's getting scared because I've got the camera on. Hang on a mo. Right, there we go, I'm back. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got a ton of these things. There's a box down there somewhere which has got about 6 or 7 different models in, and I can't be doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll have a quick look at them. If they're any good, you'll hear about it. If they're a good price and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. So AirPod videos ain't gonna happen. The fixed videos I will still do because I do still feel kind of obliged. I've recommended these to people, and actually some of them have been really good. The ones from Nokia's, Spinning Deal, the ED Maxter, they've all been really good, and it's just the problem is with them, the i10s especially and the i12s, there's a million different people selling them on eBay, Alibaba, AliExpress. There's clones of clones of clones, and a lot of them are absolute junk. Seriously, like, if you're buying AirPod clones, which are normally £50 or £60, and you see exactly the same ones, allegedly, for kind of like $6 or $7 on AliExpress, like, are you completely mental? Do you think they're going to work and they're going to be great? Clearly they're not. They're not going to be the same thing at all. But I get all the emails come through every single day. I bought these blah 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 off AliExpress and now only one side works. Please help me. It's like, oh my goodness me. How many times have I got to say it? These video reviews are for the ones that I've bought from the individual places. That is why I've reviewed them, because I've tried them, I've used them, and they're actually not too bad. They're pretty good. And I'm quite happy to support people who've bought them. But if you've bought them from AliExpress or eBay or the local pound shop, seriously? Like, go back to them and work it out. Nothing to do with me. If you watch the videos and it doesn't work for you, sorry, you're on your own. Anyway, that's enough of that. So there, Brian's saying now, if you watch his security cam video from 8 minutes 24,
Is that him?
and you'll see him.
No, it's this one.
Who is it? Is that him? He's got a mask on.
Yeah.
Brian, you've got a mask on, you absolute dipstick. Right, hang on, I'm going to get this on the screen here. Brian, are you, actually, before I do this, Brian, are you okay with me using some of your footage on my stream? Say yes or no. Good evening, David Thompson. How you doing? Evening from up north. Can't do north. David Thompson says, nothing wrong with pound shops. There you're right. There's nothing wrong with pound shops as long as you're not buying AirPods.
I am eating Brian because it's got...
Brian, that's not you at 8 minutes 24 unless you've got some massive norks. You silly, silly boy. I'm going to have a closer look at this. What, Kath, give me the URL. What video is it?
You have to click on the comments.
I can't see it in there. Let's have to get Brytech09. Which video is it? This could be the big Brian Brytech09 reveal here right now, people.
I don't know. Where is it? Say it. I don't know. Force cam.
Is it a recent one? Oh, it's the Foscam one. Foscam, there we are. 1440p. Whoa! Right, let's mute that.
824.
Right, we'll skip ads. Sorry about this, but this could be breaking news right here, people. 824.
Change the camera.
I have? Oh, yeah.
No, change it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, full screen. Brian, you absolute muppet. That is not you. That is a woman with like breasticles and everything. Also with a duck mask on. Well, that's 30 seconds of my life I'm never going to get back. David Thompson says, hello, Mike's wifey. Copyright strike coming up. Oh, yes. Southern Softy. That click would drive me nuts on the keyboard. Oh, what, this one? The strike. I quite like clicky keyboards now. I didn't used to. I used to quite prefer softer keyboards like... this is, get ready people, this is going to be a classic keyboard unboxing right now. Well, not so much of a... Oh, that reminds me actually, Brian, I'm not sure if you still want them. I've got your magazines have come through, your subscription, Computer Active, for those PC fixes. I'll get Kath to stick them in a post. Here we are. Here we go, people. You know, this is the classic. This, for me, is possibly the greatest keyboard that was ever made. Even now, with all the great keyboards that are about, this right here is amazing. Microsoft, at the time when this came out, which was circa kind of 2000, 2001, thereabouts, this is the bomb. Virtually indestructible. All the keys are there. You've got your internet keys on the top. The only thing it missed, which I would really have loved to have seen on this, was a volume control. That would have made it perfect.
And a USB.
And maybe a USB connection on there. But having said that, PS2 keyboards always got you out of a fix. If you had a BIOS you had to get into and your motherboard didn't have the USB enabled, you'd always be hunting around for one of these as a technician, trying to get to reset a BIOS because you didn't have a keyboard or they had a wireless setup. But this is amazing. I love this keyboard, the way it feels, the way it's built. You can take this apart. You can literally, I've washed this in the sink 15, 20, 30 times. Taking it apart, taking the screws out, washed it in the sink, cleaned it all up, got all the grubby bits out, put it back together, and it just works. It's a membrane keyboard with springy keys, but just listen to that noise. Isn't that the greatest noise in the world? Yeah, Brian, you are. Although, if they did a new version of this, a modern version in black that I could use on a regular basis, I would get one of these over any mechanical or membrane keyboard ever. This is the absolute epitome of keyboards. I've got to type on it now. I can't help myself. Look how old and wrecked it is. Look at it, it's missing one of the feet, which is just like, oh my God. Now that actually is a deal breaker for me on these. It needs to have the feet. But oh, just look at it. If I had a Microsoft IntelliMouse as well, this would be my idea of PC pornography. Amazing. Look at it. Hail Mary for my wicked thoughts right now. That is a great keyboard. I miss it terribly. And please, Microsoft, I know you're not going to be watching this video because, well, why would you? But if anybody knows anybody who works for Microsoft, tell them to re-release this. Don't change anything. Don't change anything. Literally, just don't change anything. Just start making it again, either in beige with the grey, blue keys, or just make it again in black with white Microsoft writing. That would be amazing. Just please, please make it. I'll buy 20 of them. Literally, I will buy 20 of them and I will stockpile them. Kath had one. Yeah, what one? You had the same one, didn't you? But in black. You had the internet keyboard. Yeah, Kath had the same keyboard but in black, which is a slightly revised version of this. But it was just amazing. Absolutely amazing keyboards. Mike PC hoarding coming to Channel 5 soon. This has become keyboard porn, it really has. Like, keyboards are such a really emotive subject for most people. Like, Aletta is a professional typist. She basically writes books for a living. So for her, the link between the digits and the keyboard and the computer is of utmost importance because you're at it all the time, and the keyboard. But you need to feel good with your keyboard. For me, personally, I've spent a lot of time using one of these and I really, really enjoy using it. I would love another one. The GameMax keyboard, on the other hand, with its mechanical switches, I'm actually growing to like that. I did have the, what's the other one? A Techware, wasn't it, Kath? Was it Techware? I had a Techware keyboard which had almost identical switches in it, but for some reason it just didn't feel right. So that's gone. We had to get rid of it. I'm not even sure what colour keys these are. So these are Otomu. I think these are Otomu Reds. And actually I quite like those. I can do those. Blues are a bit too noisy. Baby U. MX Browns are nice. I think MX Brown is what I've got in the Rio Toro behind me, which is actually quite nice. Anyway, that's enough reminiscing. Actually, yeah, the Rio Toro, I've got another one of them here. Yeah, that's got the browns in it. I think the brown is quite a nice compromise between the reds and the blues. Yeah, not too sure. I kind of like the Rio Toro keyboard, but it's a little bit too clacky. There's definitely that bottoming out. Yeah, it's boring now. Apart from those people who like keyboards. Like somebody I used to work with, James Brown. He loved his keyboard. Although some of the keys didn't work very well. Anyway, moving on. ThinkPad keyboard, one of the best laptop keyboards ever. Yes, actually, IBM keyboards on their ThinkPads, they were brilliant. With the little nipple mouse pad thing as well, they were great. Oh, that is a good cup of tea. David Thompson had a membrane keyboard ZX Spectrum. Now, David, you're giving away part of your age there, I think. Oh, someone said that, have they?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, he said he's giving away his age? Right. Am I missing some of the chat? Possibly. ClickTech Kev, I always laughed at anyone with rubber keyed specky. The Commodore 64 keys were amazing to use. Actually, yeah, the Commodore keyboard was good. I'll give you that. The VIC-20 keyboard, I think, was almost identical, pretty much. I think it was the same chassis with different colour keys, if I remember rightly. And then the VIC-20 always felt very, very professional, unlike the Spectrum, which felt a little bit more like a toy. And the ZX Spectrum 48K Plus, which was the one that came with the squarer box, but had kind of like rounded keys.
In square keys.
In a square key, which was really weird. Wasn't too bad to type on, but was nowhere near as good as the Commodore keyboards. They were fantastic.
And the reset button was the same height as pack of eggs.
Yeah. And I think those are almost charged. Yeah. This is actually a really good idea. Not only the X mark in the spot on the top, but having a wireless charger built into a PC. Why has somebody else not done that? I know there's not many devices on the market really that have wireless charging. But I'm actually even considering buying a new phone with wireless capability just so I can charge it on there, because it just seems so effortless. What a great idea. Right, I think that pretty much is going to wrap up things for this live stream. I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part tonight. And obviously, if you want to help out with the channel, there will be affiliate links in the video at some point. So if you do buy anything from Amazon, GearBest, who else, Kath? Banggood, eBay. We've now got an eBay affiliate link, so if you buy a lot of stuff on eBay, help us out, use the eBay link, and we'll get a couple of quid back our way for referring you. None of these links cost you anything. Well, apart from a little bit of time for clicking on them, but again, we do massively, massively appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any more to buy anything, so it's all good. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. Don't forget to watch the videos that are coming out later on in this week. And I can tell it's time to end the stream because the monitor's come up with the message saying that it's going to power off in a minute. So, because it's not a monitor, it's a TV, because I'm a cheapskate. Anyway, that's all for this stream. Thanks for everyone for watching. Brytech, Seema Knight, Glenn, Aletta, David, Baby You, everybody else, NS Nick. Don't forget to subscribe to everyone else's channels that are in here. Seema Knight. No, Seema Knight hasn't got a channel, I don't think. But yeah, click on the links for all the people that you've seen in the chat and help them out. Sub for sub and all that kind of stuff. Get the numbers up. Kath's got her hand in the air, which means she has the question. Belated thank you for Tony when he's going to watch this a little bit later on, because he's probably babysitting or working, or babysitting whilst working. And yeah, it's Welsh Tony's baby's birthday, so happy days for that. Yeah.
And Skywalker when he watches.
Oh yeah, and who? Oh yeah, Skywalker. Yeah, Skywalker. When you're watching this later, we haven't forgotten you. You've missed our stream once again, so we're deeply, deeply disappointed, but we'll give you a shout out now anyway, just to get out of the way. And we'll talk to you in the comments section. So, rum and ginger ale incoming for Brian, and I'm going to go for a quick run around the block to get my beach bod ready. Thanks guys, see you soon. And Kath says bye as well.